Hello, testing 1, 2, 3. Just a sec. Hello, I see Saito the Lone Wolf, aka Haseo in the chat. Hello, and also I see Union Singer. What's up? How's it going? Sounds like Union Singer had some crazy news. Interesting. I do have something interesting I want to share with you as well, too, Union Singer. But first, let me see what what I want. Let me see what you're sharing there. Okay, there's actually 2 crazy pieces of news, so I'm going to start with a tamer piece of information that just showed up on my YouTube feed. Long story short, a Legend of Zelda Ocarina of Time remake has been leaked. Now, ain't that something? Yes, we got another remake of a classic game that I once played. Interesting. So this is the intermission section where we're just chatting for a little bit. Chat about different things. So for the Switch 2, obviously. Okay. So I'm curious about the second piece of news you're referring to right now. And I also got a few little things I wanted to also address. And then some of them were some things you told me about before Union Singer that I wanted to address as well. But I'm just waiting for what you're about to post. He said a 1998 Japanese Pikachu Illustrator promo card sold for a crazy price. I wouldn't even know where to even make a guess on that, honestly. Because, I mean, I know I've heard, I've seen some Pokemon stuff, heard of Pokemon. I mean, I do have one Arceus, Legends Arceus Pokemon game that I'm still playing and hoping to beat, but not been too into the Pokemon card trading card stuff. So you just tell me what the pricing is. Let me see, a PSA rating of 10. Remind me what PSA stands for again. Is it point score something or? Sold for a mind-blowing price of $16 million and $492,000. Wow. Well, is that the highest price any other card or whether Pokemon or Yu-Gi-Oh? I don't know about Yu-Gi-Oh, but like any card, trading card has ever really accomplished, or is there any more that's gone higher than that? There's a grading company for Pokemon trading cards. Okay. Interesting. And given the introduction, this is XP Story Gamers, your favorite detective, your neighborhood detective. You can call me. Well, actually, my first initial in XP is Elias, Elias. So I'm Detective Elias here. treading in through the dark and finding the light and the truth in any kind of story, any kind of place that I encounter, any kind of case that I go through. So welcome, fellow detectives. Well, in second place, the first edition Shadowless Charizard will only get you to $400,000. Okay. Anything else, or is that it? Because I know there's a couple of things I want to go ahead and get to talking about. But I kind of want to address, because you're here, I kind of want to address a few things you mentioned before. I wanted to address about that, and then other stuff. So I wanted to see if you had one more thing before I continue. All right, so let's see. So there's a lots of things I will talk about. One of them will be the fact. Well, one of them is that I'll be because I got like these nice clips I'll be kind of going more in depth about Tales of Berseria and the whole malevolence thing. Kind of deeper meanings and themes around that. Probably near the end of the stream or some portion of the stream, but I might do it in like a full case review this weekend. So I'm just having to work to set that up. Probably do it in like a form of a slideshow kind of setup. So that's one. And I'll get a little bit more deeper on that in a bit. Now, I kind of wanted to address something that, because I recall the last time, the last stream you were in, Union Sanger, you mentioned to me two stories. And I want to address them both, but let me address one of them. Because I got curious. Maybe you may recall or not. Do you remember one you talked to me about, a story about something with alimony? Do you remember that one? Let's see, my mouth frozen. Yeah, let me know if you remember that one or not. Yeah, I think my mouth froze. Yeah. So I did a little digging on both of those little stories you mentioned out of curiosity. More so, well, the one I'm going to address is I'm going to address the alimony one. This one is pretty simple. And then the other one, I'll kind of break it to you something about that one. But let me fix this up real quick because my darn screen thing is acting up. Fix it up. Yeah, it's like the face is barely moving. All right, I think that's about as close as I can get. So I remember you told me about that, and I was curious to look up the kind of cases like that, you know, just out of curiosity to see like what are some details, maybe facts on that on my spare time. I kind of have a good summary of what I found, because it was a situation you were telling me that you said. So from what I remember, what I recall, because you mentioned that, you know, you told me that alimony story that your friend apparently mentioned. So was it from something I have to remember from an episode of Law and Order you saw, right? Well, first off, I know Law and Order is a show, but let's just let me just say something, because, you know, when it comes to facts, here's what I've come to understand. You know, from the alimony story you mentioned, it's not as black and white as, like, you know, something like you might think is, oh, she cheated, so he shouldn't have to pay anything. After all, you mentioned it was like the spouse that cheated on the guy and he had to pay down, right? but it's not as black and white as just, oh, well, she cheated, so he shouldn't have to pay anything back. As a matter of fact, alimony, which is like the spousal support in divorce, because it's involving support, obviously, is mostly about money stuff. In other words, who earns more, how long they were married, if one person gave up their career for the family, etc. The goal is usually to keep the lower earning person from totally struggling after the split. That's the goal of alimony. Now, adultery, cheating, which is the case that you brought up, right? It doesn't automatically counsel alimony in most states. Because why? Because, you know, a ton of places are what you call no-fault divorce litigation. It's called no-fault divorce, meaning the court doesn't care who caused the breakup. They just look at the finances. That's pretty much how most of these states tend to operate. No-fault divorce. It's only some states. There are some states that do, or only like in only some states does cheating even get considered at all. And even then, it's just like one factor among many. So it's not necessarily the deciding one, right? So it might lower or block alimony for the cheater in those spots, but like it rarely forces the innocent person to pay extra as punishment. So pretty much what the bottom line is this: divorce laws are going to vary a lot by state. And there are way more things the judge looks at than just like who cheated. That's pretty much what happens. It's not always like a, you know, fair feeling, you know, it's not always fair feeling morally. You know what I mean? It's not always fair feeling morally, but legally it's more about practical money needs than punishing bad behavior. That's pretty much like the big focus when it comes to these no-fault divorce cases. It might not feel morally right, like oh man, but still that person cheated. I mean, I get it. It's just that's typically what tends to be the thing with these cases. The case that you refer to most likely probably was in a no-fault divorce state. And maybe there wasn't even enough proof to show that adultery was enough of a factor to say, nope, he wasn't, it may not have been considered like an enough factor to say, no, he can't pay it, she should pay it, you know. It's just going to be varied from state to state. It's going to be varied. Yeah. It was something I was looking into. I was like, let me look into this. And when I started looking detailed, I was like, oh my gosh. It's true that the courts look at the finances to make a determination, but if there was a pre-existing prenuptial agreement in place with notarized signature, doesn't that add more factors? Again, it's going to depend on the litigation processes and how that works for each of the states, because that's the bottom line. You know, and what was that prenuptial pre-existing agreement, by the way? And if what factors it was, would those factors be? Only then that would determine how the case goes. But yeah, the no-fault divorce thing is where that can get a bit dicey. I guess it depends on like what kind of agreement, what factors were actually added and what wasn't. But that's all that pertains to the laws of the states. And so it's more so got to do with like what laws of the states, what do they say, and what are their agreements, you know, all that kind of stuff. Because without those details, you know, it's just a matter of just it goes this way or that way. It was one of those things that I was like puzzled, and I was like, let me look into this, and then I was starting to get more info, and I was like, oh my gosh. And I'm not even in I'm not in a position of divorce or anything, you know, I'm single and everything, so I don't have to worry about that. But like, I could imagine the process of having to go through a lot of that just to make sure there's spousal support, aka alimony. But to make that determination, oh my gosh. Because that stuff can be crazy. Oh, let me put my charger on the iPad real quick. Not only that, plus attorneys and lawyers, they're going to be the ones that are going to have more of that observation analysis, because they'll be providing most of the legal advisement, but also the legal opinions upon that type of stuff. In some cases, the person who might have been cheated on could win, and then the other person pays alimony, but it could also go the other way. It just depends on like all the factors that they have to consider. Financial is the main one, but if there's other factors, they could be added. There is such thing as fault-based, so. Yeah, I really didn't have all the facts. I understand and details, but from what my friend relayed to me as third-party information. But I did want to voice my objection to the injustice nature of the events transpired. And speaking of that, did you know that this first story you told me was fake? No, I'm very serious. Did you know that the first story you told me was actually fake? Not saying you faked it. I'm saying this story itself. And also let me know where you heard it from. The one about the second story thing. Yeah, because I looked into that one too. I was like, let me look into this. And then I looked all around, found some of the sources, and then went deeper, and then I found out it was fake. Especially when there was a lot of people on social media that were addressing this, and people were like, hey, don't believe this info, don't believe it, like, and stuff. Ah, that explains it. So no problem, no worries, bro. So what I found out, it's fascinating when you, like, you know, this is why I say, like, because I know we get a lot of shock value, a lot of things we hear, but it doesn't hurt to do a bit of research, please. If you come across any news, like, it doesn't hurt to do research, because in research, find out information for yourself, because sometimes there are things that either get posted or get shown and you think it's real, and then you find out details and you realize it wasn't. But here's the full context of their story, or maybe important. So here's the full context so you have an idea. So back in October 2025 is when this video was first posted. It was posted either TikTok or like Instagram or something, but it was going around Facebook, it was going around social media. And you know, it caused a lot of uproar. It's like, it's like, and you know, people question like, oh, should we not step in now? Are we going to be like, are we now going to be considered criminal if we step, like, you know, stuff like that. And what people finally started discovering about this video, one, there were multiple different takes, like different versions that would say the different amount. Like one would say 400K, oh, you got super 400K. One would say, oh, you got super 500K. Different amounts was changed. The person in the video wasn't fitting like a later part of the video. There was AI artifacts. Also was found to be discovered that there was some AI influence. And then there was no news report. There was no court case, no police report. There was nothing outside of to be able to show support that this actually happened. And then there was like an article online. There was people sites were talking about it. It's like, yeah, like it started causing uproar. It became viral, but it got attention. But it took time for people to realize. Even I was noticing other people were like, yeah, no, this is not actually real. And started getting people to like understand, like, yeah, we checked this, we fact checked, like, yeah, it was fact checking. I was fact checking. It was like, nope, didn't happen. The whole, oh, he got sued for cash. I was like, no, that didn't happen. There was an unrelated case that occurred back in like 2008, but that one didn't have to do with the window. That was like a Samaritan helped somebody, and I think it was something where a person did get a little bit injured, but that one was settled well due to the public outcry, and then they changed laws, and now you have what you call Good Samaritan laws that exist almost in every state. And it's the Good Samaritan laws that contradict that very video that we're speaking of, that actually protects citizens from any legal retaliation or anything by somebody just because they got a little bit injured when someone was trying to rescue or save them. If you know you rescued that person in good faith, you're good. You're not going to be sued. It's not going to work. Plus, even when I look at the video, the person won. The person who got sued won anyway, even though it's a fake video. So it was like, and I looked into these laws. I looked into the laws. It's in my state too. It's like, it's really interesting how much easy, but you don't know why this relates to Tales of Berseria. It's easy how much something so shocking, so, you know, it could really drive you emotionally because, you know, when someone is doing something good in good faith, you would not expect someone to go and sue them, right? Like it drives the emotion so well that people would react thinking it's real, feeling it's real, and then trying to feel the heaviness of it. But it's misleading. That's why I always say, like, yeah, watch your emotions, watch your thoughts, because sometimes there are things that will try to grab your attention and they drive you to think a certain way, or you start thinking, and then next thing you know, it's like, wait a minute, this is a lie. And that's what I found out. I was like, oh my God. And I was watching people's comments. I was like, people actually believe this shit. I was like, crap. I'm like, oh, thank God I didn't. There's a reason why I barely go on social media, because sometimes some people, listen, some people will ignore the protein of logic and they'll just take a nice slice of dessert of misinformation. Come on, man. That was a little joke there. I was being a little funny, but it's also serious. But that can happen. Doesn't mean there's no truth in some things on social media, but sometimes there are some things that could really be viral, but they actually be fake, and it could drive people to think or see things certain when they feel a certain way. They're like, oh my God, what? But I don't blame people for feeling, you know, the rage and because, you know, stuff like that you would not expect to see. But at the same time, it was like, are you kidding me? But that lets you know there are some people that will just pull stuff like that to try to get people to like and look and talk. And it's just like, bro, that's not right. Because that's serious. That's why I always say, like, yeah, you got to do your research, man. Like, you got to do your research. You know, because stuff like that can get to you, man. So I was amazed and I was shocked when I found that out. I was like, oh my God. But I'm hardly on social media. I mean, I'm still a bit on like Twitter and Instagram. I mean, that's part of my socials in my description. But I try not to invest too much into them, because I also understand that there are lots of stuff in there where there might be things that could be possibly true, but there are things that could be like false and distracting. So it's like, it's just stuff you hear online, everything. It's just, you just be a bit careful, you know? Yeah. Yeah. So this is my little advice. Yeah. You research, you look, it's like, okay, what actually, like, what's going on here? And then you find out, because there are some things you find out that, whether like you find out what actually happened versus what didn't happen, you know? Like, I know one example of one that I did find out what happened was a boy who was, this was some other thing that I looked into separately, like later on, was like a boy who was like a Christian that was, he would work for Whataburger, and he would make these videos. Like, I found his videos like on Instagram or like on TikTok and stuff, shorts, where he would literally review food for the company, and he would say, praise God, thank you Lord Jesus, and he would review the food, which would honestly attract people to Whataburger. But he ended up making another video and reporting that he got fired, and he reported that he was abused and harassed in the company, and it got on the news. I found the site News 19. I found like sources that were pointing to news reports, videos, people responding, people, you know, testimonials of where the stuff that he was happening, proof from his video things he was getting from people, like that kind of stuff. So that was an example where something was proven by further looking into. But yeah, it was. He now works for Sonic, and they encourage his reviews, man. And I'm glad for him. But yeah, like, yeah, you know, it's just one of those things. Yeah, it was one of those things I just discovered on my own. I'm like, oh my god. But it still teaches me to this day why it's important for me to also do my research at times, which is also what I did with this game a bit, Hoseo, myself, because I remember Hoseo, I mentioned about how I was reviewing a clip that I still had recorded that helped me get to remembrance of an important thing called resonance and the Therions and everything. And it reminded me a couple of key points, which I'm about to mention as I jump into the game. Anyway, Union Singer, do you have a reaction to that? I know I said all that. I'm like, do you have a reaction to that? Or I don't know if you have something to say to that. I think when I think about injustice, I think the real injustice was the fake video itself. Like, that's just not right. For someone to post something like that and then you find out it's like falsified, it's just messed up. That goes to show, you know, there are people who will do whatever they can to get views and accounts and everything over very serious matters that involves the lives of people in our society. It's really messed up, but there are people who are willing to do that. And I hate that crap. I don't like it when someone tries to do something like that, because that pulls a wool over people's eyes and it just leads and deceives them, you know? It's crazy what things like that do to people, you know? But I don't, like I said, I don't blame anyone if they found the video maybe to be shocking and, you know, probably thought maybe it was really thing. I don't blame people. It's so, because of just how it is. Right. And that's the thing. AI is getting to the point where I've seen some stuff where AI is just so, you know what I mean? Like, it only takes just a quick, like a really good view, like, oh wait, that is AI. Like, but it's just getting so much further, right? Yeah. I said, it looks like I was taken in by AI. I need to excite. Yeah. And I'm not saying everything with real videos, everything is all AI, but it still doesn't hurt to. Sometimes I'll do external source looking and just try to be like, okay, has there been, if it's a case, has there been reports? Are there any details of the case, the litigation? Like what's available to tell me like what actually happened? And you'll know when you find that information and you're like, okay, so now I find out what happened. Even if it's checking the law, I'll do that just to see like what laws address this, you know, because that's available online. I mean, if people are willing to go that far, but you know, things like this could really shock you. Yeah, things like that can really get you. And I will say this, like, yeah, you never want to get taken in by stuff like that. Because stuff like that can lead to certain conclusions, like where, you know, conclusions like, oh, like, what if I get sued? What if I get, you know, what if this person does this? Like, if I get this, like, if I say it and I get this, first off, go read the Good Samaritan laws. You're safe. Once you know the Good Samaritan laws, I don't care if you have to get a lawyer and talk to them about that. What is the Good Samaritan law in my state and how does that work? That really will tell you why the video was fake. Because it didn't make sense according to those laws that have been strengthened. So it's like, what are we doing, right? But too many people to this day still get deceived and they still think the video was real. I was like, oh my gosh, I feel sorry for some people. To me, I look at it as not only that as injustice, but it will promote more injustice if it drives people not to want to do anything. And even if a situation like that, where a child is just like that, there's a statement I learned a long time ago, you know, evil prevail when good men do nothing but fold their hands. One of my good statements that I still hold to this day. Yeah, if someone didn't do anything, that's just further injustice that's being more pushed, you know. And I've seen examples of the bystander effect and a couple other things that have been looked at, examined, like from years prior to this point, that points to that issue. Yeah. But I don't, yeah, like I said, I don't find anyone at fault if they thought it was a real thing. It's one of those things you got to be careful. But yeah, I believe it's injustice if people just took from that and then they said, well, I'm going to save my own hide. Okay, moral failure at best. Thank you for showing that. Now that means people will not care, and then that means there will be injustice because of that. That's how I look at it. Not that I blame people for feeling that way, but that they're being misled is why I say, that's not how you, that's the wrong way to think. That's what it's driving you to think, you know? Oh yeah, there are some states that have a duty to rescue law too. That's something I also found out. Because while there are some states that don't force people to help, there are states that do enforce that need or desire to help. But even in all of like society and history, you know, when it comes to humanity, there's just that will and capacity to want to help, regardless of what happens. That's just coming from each and every one of us in any way, you know. There's plenty of people who want to do, who will just do, they don't even have to think about it, they'll just do it. That's just something that we do. You don't even have to explain it. Yeah, there are some states that have those type of laws. This really, it's funny. This literally taught me laws that I didn't even know about, or I didn't even consider. And then now I'm like, oh, okay, now I know. Because I was honing in on that story. I was like, I want to find out, where did this story happen? Who said it? What was the foot? Like, you know, I was taking it seriously. And then once I found all this info, I started learning these laws. I'm like, oh my gosh, this video really did. While at the same time it was false, it did help me find. The video itself didn't help me, but my research did help me find the actual laws and the actual information, the actual things, rather than be taken up by this crap. Yeah, so it's really something, you know. But as I'm starting to get to the game, I will say that this also ties in a bit to what I did. My buddy Haseo, kind of what I told him is that I went back and I had these clips that I have on my computer from Tales of Berseria. Yeah. Yeah. And yeah, I was gonna say, yeah. And in these clips, what I look at it is they talk a lot about what the source of malevolence as impure emotions, the darkness in the heart, impure emotion, sin in mankind, universal, like a universal manifestation or universality. And then there were a couple of clips that reminded me key points and to the story. The fact that Velvet was the very first, if not the very first, and Haseo, you can correct me on this detail, she was the very first Therion to channel malevolence to Inonimat in the prison cell. Am I correct in making that conclusion? Because I remember we visited the prison and we found out there was an earth pulse where she was housed, and that she, being a Therion, being fed daemons, allowed her to become a conduit to Innominat in the first place until she escaped. Probably. Well, it did mention that in the clip that I have when we visited the prison as a group, that this was an earth pulse. The prison where she's housed was on purpose because it was an earth pulse point for Innominat to feed off of malevolence, which means Velvet being a Therion. Now, of course, I don't know if she was right. She probably wasn't the first, but she was definitely a Therion that was used as a conduit for malevolence point for Innominat, because she was at an earth pulse the whole entire time since the very beginning of the game. It's really something. Yep. And then after that, we've already found like what? The bug, the bird that belongs to that one guy, Prince guy. Those are Therions, and then the little girl. That's 1, 2, 3, 4 Therions we have. They all have been removed from their Earth Pulse points. So we're about to enter one in Halals. So there's a Therion there, I would presume. You'll let me know if I actually got some of these points right, because I want to make sure I have full recap and get an idea of where I'm at and what's happened so far. And also a reminder that Eisen's vessel is the coin with the Reaper on it and the goddess on the other side. And yeah, the part where even in that same clip where we're talking about the malevolence in detail, where it goes back to when Eisen talked about how he was hoping that Laphicet would have a more pure vessel. And Eleanor is that pure vessel because she is doing her best to handle her emotions so she doesn't get malevolence affected. So I remember that. And, you know, I'm getting closer to understanding more of like the whole thing with Eisen's Reaper curse. He was born with it, and it seems to be coming through him. But a bigger clue I could tell is going to be even his sister, because maybe there's something she has that might be in the opposite that I suspect. So once I find out, I'll definitely get into it. But yeah, I'm glad I had these clips. I was reviewing them, bro, and I was like, oh, okay, this helped me get revamp my information, so that way I don't mistake things in the story. Because before I was like almost forgetful Joan for a bit. Or forgetful. Goodbye, Mary. Goodbye, Jane. Oh, that's an old song. Yeah. Anyway, let me see if I can get this thing up. Yeah, though, duty to rescue laws. Yeah, it's like, yeah, some states will make it to where you gotta help, and you will be protected. But yeah, people get protected even if they. Yeah, AI be scandalous sometimes. I mean, you have your obvious AI stuff where people like call AI slop, but then you got like some stuff where it's like people have stated how, even I observe how it's getting so realistic, so on point where even some cases people could barely tell, but there are those that are like just the obvious kinds of fragments, you know. All right, folks. Can I hear the game? Oh, I think I have it muted. So do let me know how y'all days has been going so far. So what's happening today is, yes, I'm in Halals in the second point, and I'm about to investigate an Earth Pulse point here. See what Therion might be in store. I have to stop the opening theme from playing because YouTube copyright notice. Although there's no like strike because it's allowed, but I just don't play it anyway. So just to recap, this week, just to stay at it. I decided to start a new game plus a Boundless Trail to get some missed content equipment. Nice! Any of you played Klonoa? Klonoa? It's like an old game. Klonoa, I think it was called. I played a little bit of it a long time ago. I know there's like a more updated version out. But I just wanted to hear y'all thoughts on it if any of y'all played it. If y'all haven't, that's fine. I was just curious. Let me turn on. I don't know if y'all hear the fan. Let me know if you do. I try to have it positioned where you won't hear it as much, but I still need the cool air in the room. It is so hot. Hot time. You know what's really disturbing? When both Oscar and his sister were in this building in Halals earlier, Haseo, I know you kind of relate with me when I say this, and how they, you know, the sister was praying in Nominat, and then she was like, "Oh my God, your brother, you're okay," well, you know, and everything, and then she's angry when she saw he had an eye injury because a Damon did that to her, or someone did that to her, or a person with a bandaged arm did that to him, but when you hear how she's talking and how they're talking like things are like in a kind way, and you think about that, but you know what they're doing, you just feel like, I don't know how to describe it, but you feel like you start thinking that, especially with how the way the girl treated the boy number 2 before we got him as part of our party, it's like, kind of makes you if their humanity was forsaken long ago, or their humanity is still there, but they're trying to suppress and try not to feel much. Because it's like, you know, especially the lady in the way she treated the boy, mindless and everything, and then the way that boy said about that one Therion and everything, talking about, oh, we're trying to end this pain and suffering, so we have to do what we can to do that. Right, and the way you talked at that moment about like, oh, so you turned to Damon like, excuse me, that was a daughter and a mother, you son of a. And I'm glad that Velvet kicked him in the face to the wall. It really hits that scene differently with those two in this building, because they look like they're all like, oh, like, are you okay? But when you see how they are and what they're doing, you just look at them like, yeah. But it's always one of those very subtle kind of those little wisdom bits, like, yeah, just because someone acts all kind, and not, you know, there are people who might act all kind and nice and everything, but, you know, there are different people out there that are gonna internally within their heart gonna want to do things that might be considered evil. But that depends. Not everyone is going to do that. There are people who want to do good, you know, and then there are people who just want to do wrong things. But there are people who might think they're doing it for, what is it, the ends justify the means kind of perspective. What you see in this game a lot.
メディサも哀れな。
メディサの知り合い？
うん。近所に住んでおった。メディサは女手一つで娘のディアナを育てていたんだが、その子が殺されちまったんだよ。
殺された？誰に？
大魔師様にさ。ディアナがゴーマ病を発病して処分されたんだ。かわいそうだが仕方のないことだ。だがメディサは清涼を逆恨みして聖堂に立てこもったんだ。ゴーマにも感情があるなどと叫んどったが、
Oh my goodness。
どうなったの？
処刑されても当然の状況だったが、命だけは助かった。メディサを殺そうとした警備を大魔師様が止めたんだ。殺すな、適合者だと言ってな。
適合者？
清涼の教えを守る者という意味だろう。もともとメディサは真面目な信徒だったからな。
ありがたいお慈悲ね。
メディサはディアナを本当に可愛がっていた。だから取り乱す気持ちはわかる。だが感情よりも大切なのは断りだ。清涼の秩序を否定するなんて許されることではないや。
Detective Elias's case file note. Very much have to say about this scene other than the fact that I think I'm a loss for words. All I can say is that was just enough. That was just enough right there. You don't even have to say anything with that. For those who played this game, I know y'all played it. What are your thoughts about, like, and the I mean, some of them was like you might have the same reactions, but like, what were your thoughts about this whole reason over emotions thing that comes up a lot with this game?
清涼は収容所としても使ってるらしいのよ。
収容所？ゴーマを捕まえてるとか？
まさかゴーマならすぐに殺しちゃうべきでしょ。捕まってるのは。
You know, here's a good question I will pose in a moment.
ちょっと前に人を殺して聖堂に立てこもった女の人がいたんだけど、その人が送られたんだって。
なんでそんな遺跡に収容？
さあ、すっごい罰でも与えられるんじゃない？清涼ってそういうとこ容赦ないから。あ、今のは単なる噂で清涼の悪口じゃないからね。
I think a good question I would pose to this is just a second. Sure, am I okay? Would be like if you were if this was a case where malevolence, you know, impure emotions or whatnot, where you would have to, like what the Abbey is doing, they want to try and eliminate any feel of emotion or whatnot as a way to deal with the malevolence. Would you want to try to eliminate emotions and everything that would be considered part of humanity and everything just to make sure that the malevolence is quelled? Would you want to do that, or would you rather not? What would you have done? Maybe you might not know what you would have done because, you know, the way this world is kind of different, but I would say, like, would you have done, like, try to eliminate emotion or entirely or something or whatnot?
ヘラビースも街中でゴーマ病が起こるようになっちまったが。
ずいぶん物騒ね。
発症したのは小さな女の子だったから大ごとになる前に処分できたがな。問題はゴーマになった娘を母親がかばおうとしたことだ。
それが人情ってもんだろう。
今はそういう情を抑えなきゃならない時代なんだ。一人のわがままが大勢を危険にさらすんだぞ。
おう。
異常に気づいた男が清涼に通報したからよかったが、例の母親は逆上して通報者を殺しなかった。通報したのは母親が再婚を考えていた相手だったそうだ。ゴーマになった娘は母親の再婚にひどく反対してたって言うから、皮肉すぎるオチだな。
そんな。
ま、自業自得だ。 自分を抑えられない人間はゴーマより迷惑だぜ。
ゴーマ化して大麻師に殺された娘ディアナと、そのことで清涼を恨む母親メディサ、そして清涼の収容所と言われる北のフォルディス遺跡か。
なんかモアナの時と似てるね。お母さんが娘を愛するのは当然ですよね。
Mm-hmm. I already know about the mother who sacrificed herself, allowing herself to be consumed, having herself be consumed by her child.
ミーツに通じる人あらば、フマのクーマは生え変わる。俺たちの古文書の解釈が正しければ、カノ主の力に適合するって意味だ。
つまり、地脈点である北の遺跡に、
Yep. You're making her into a
適合者
theory
の
on.
メディサを送り、クーマにした。
そう考えれば全部つながるの。しかも清涼を恨むメディサとやらがクーマにされたなら好都合じゃな。
ああ、こっちに協力してくれそうだ。少し話がうますぎる気もするが。
確かにね。でもどの道行ってみなきゃ裏か。
Oh, thank you for letting me know for that. Let me get that out the way.
フォルディス遺跡
Let's see
に向
if
か
I
うぞ。
can.
いやいや、恨み確定じゃろ。
Don't worry, that was an accident. But yeah, thank you for letting me know that. I'll say I appreciate it. I'm looking at the game screen. Like I have a big game screen up, so I didn't like catch that at the moment. I was looking at the big screen on my TV. So thank you for catching it. Oh, you can customize the geoboard. Okay, nice. And my mustachio. You know, he almost reminds me of, not completely, but he almost reminds me of Pride from Seven Deadly Sins. Almost. But his hair is a little different. With the mustachio. If you kind of catch my drift. Oh, wow. Okay, that's hilarious. Laughing glasses. This would be funny. All right, we're about to do another scene here. I think it's in here. No, it's talk to a promoter in halals and hold a performance. I think it's the tavern. I think. Just in case, just in case, Union Singer, I did like a poll in my community tab section where it was like 3 or 4 games. Select 3 games, and then one of them was like an optional suggestion in the comments thing. It's in my community tab post thing. There's for the other 2. What was the other one? Code Vein, and there was another one. But yeah, if you haven't already, you could look at that and you could pick which one to vote for. I'm gonna just, depending on which one, I'll just pick which game to play next after I complete some of these games I'm playing right here.
わしが書いた台本はなんとかさすがじゃな。じゃが真面目に台本をなぞるだけでは笑いの門は開かんぞ。お主なりのアドリブ、具体的こびこびなお愛さでお客の心をつかむのじゃ。できるかな。アドリブなんて。
Yeah, I believe you picked one hot sale. I'm sure you voted. I was letting me and Singer know. So you voted for the first one with Sonic Frontiers, or you just saying you chose one of those two? Code Vein. Was it Code Vein? I mean, obviously it's anime-based, kind of Souls-esque game. They're performing. Oh wait, did you chose one before, or did you just now chose one? The nearby cat. Okay. Okay. Oh, you just chose one. Oh, okay. I got you. I'll check the poll later. Because I saw there was 2 votes already, so I didn't know if you already picked her. So you did an okay. So you voted again. Is that what you're saying? You just now voted again? Okay. I just wanted to clear it up. Alright, so you already chose one, so I guess whichever one you chose is there. There was only 2 that got voted. Sonic Frontiers and Code Vein. So, if you didn't choose Code Vein, you chose Sonic Frontiers, did you? And I didn't see any comments. Oh my gosh, that show is hilarious. Yeah, I didn't see anything posted in the comments of that post, so those were the only 2 games that got a vote. Sonic Frontier and Code Vein. So I guess Code Vein, you said no, so it would be Sonic Frontiers then.
この町を救いたいのならば、食料よりも金よりもテレサ様を送り込むべきだろうに。
You just said, okay. I think maybe it's the delay. It's probably it's all right. It's probably the delay thing messing with me. So no worries. So when you mentioned, I bet you can guess which was mine. I said it's Code Vein, and you said no with 3 or 4 dots, and then it said yep. So maybe the yep was you saying it was Code Vein. And then maybe I missed it because of the delay. If I had to guess, that was probably what it was, wasn't it? The delay probably made it to where it seemed like you said no to my answer, but you actually said yep to my answer. So, so no worries. I'm good thing I caught it. Yeah, this delay is probably gonna be the one thing I'm gonna need to go in, rush my hand into the digital space, grab the neck or thing, whatever electric thing that's causing this, and say, how could you make the messages so slow? Sheesh. Kind of a pain in the arse.
テレサ様、こいつだけに物資が届かないようにはできないの。
Yeah, I knew you. Yeah, so I already guessed previously that it was Code Vein. Because I figured you would pick that one because that one's kind of like an anime-based version of what you'd say like of a Dark Souls game. Anyway, so I think I figured maybe you might choose that one. And there is someone I kind of had an idea that might have chosen Sonic Frontiers because I talked to them in person some time ago, like a week or 2 ago. It's a buddy of mine. He sees my channel sometimes, so I figured maybe he might have picked the other one, Sonic Frontiers. But that's just a guess. So Pharaoh, it's Land of Dancing Light, Moonbane Wolf. Okay, so you got the Silver Kill Tree, Moonbane Wolf. Yeah, the little cat thing. That's funny. Collect black Nordals. Gotcha. We gotta explore Faldy's ruins north of town. What's up there? I think I know which area, the north.
ヘラビーさんも随分変わってしまいましたね。
お主も随分変わったしな。
ですね。初めてあなたたちと会った時は、まさかこんな風に旅をすることになるとは思いませんでした。
僕は思うこともうまくできなかった。でもベルベットがこれを持たせてくれて、アイゼンと六郎が意志を持てって教えてくれた。
そうじゃったな。
ダエルも今じゃバンエルティア号の航海士だ。
ちょこまかしていたビエンフーもグリモ姉さんも気づけば俺たちと一緒にいるし。
わしは
王子とわしじゃなかった。タカもいるし、黒金もモアナも一緒だもんね。
わしのことはどうなってるんじゃ。
何言ったってどうでもいいって言うんでしょ。
わしのことが分かってきたようじゃの。マギンっぽい。
Oh yeah, I know you remember that joke I gave about her finger point, the Maggie Kazam. It just reminded me of Rika's little spinning finger thing, man. It was just hilarious. It's not technically the spinning thing, but it reminded me of it. Just more delighted with caffeine and more theatrical and flair and just infinitely repeating its name.
俺は子供の頃から夏は炎天下、冬は吹雪の中で素振りさせられてたから慣れっこなんだ。 もっともゴーマになってからは暑いも寒いも関係なくなっちまったがな。
私も
Boundless
クー
Trails.
マ
I'll
にな
probably
っ
look
て
into
から
that
は関
one.
係なくなった。冬が苦手
I
だ
know
った
there's
から
a lot of games.
かくいうお主こそ平気そうじゃぞ。
いえ、とても寒いです。あなたが平気そうにしているのが信じられません。
3度の飯より寒さが嫌いなわしじゃぞ。全身くまなく防寒用の秘密兵器を忍ばせてあるわ。服の裏から靴の中まで薄くて腫れてぬくもりキープ。その名もポッポカイロじゃ。
そんな素晴らしいものがあるのですか？
鳩真似するなら分けてやってもよいぞ。はとま
ポッポ回路分けてほしい。ポッポ。
ベルベットほどの衝撃はなかったの。
Knock it out with the cuckoo stuff, please. I'm tired of that crap. This is the third or fourth time I did the cuckoo stuff. Really? Hold up, I got an idea. Like, why? You gotta block the road.
「フォルディス遺跡はヘラビーサの北です。地脈点も北だよ。きっと同じ場所だと思う。これオメガエリクシールの素材だ。
ユニコーンの角か。
おっと、扱いには注意じゃぞ。ユニコーンの角は清らかな乙女以外が持つとその不思議な力を失うというからの。
清らかな乙女ね。
そりゃあまずいな。モテるやつがいない。
は？失礼なことを言わないでください。
けど清らかな乙女ってのは箸より重いものを持ったことがないお姫様とかだぞ。
あなたの女性観かなり歪んでますよ。
そうか？
わしはむしろ3周回って清らかレベルカンストの乙女じゃが。ベルベット
By her third
お
playthrough?
主はどうかの。
フィー、
Oh my
あんた
gosh.
が持ちなさい。
いいのかな？
I don't know if she was just like hilarity trying to joke or she trying to break the fourth
で
wall
も
or trying to
オ
do
メ
something
ガエ
like
リクシールを作りたいって言い出したのもあんたよ。あんたが自分で
I've
集められない
completely
なら
exuded and kept
それまで
myself
の
away from malevolence, from darkness. You're welcome. I'm pure.
わかった。
心配はいらん。マギルーが話したのはた
An
だの
old
俗
wives'
説。
tale.
ユニコーンの角の正体は一角というクジラの牙だ。
先に言ってください。
なんじゃのアイゼン、残念な種明かししよって。
少なくともマギルーはユニコーンの角は持てないな。
とにかくリーブに報告に行こう。すぐに済ませるわよ。じゃあ空砲全攻撃。次そこよ。水ジャト。
ずいぶん変わった立ち筋。
Yeah, because now we can go to this area. Remember, it was blocked earlier and stuff like that. Because it wasn't the place we were trying to go at the time. Now we're going there. It really is messed up when you look at it, the count of the fact that she was left to be the Therion placement in that prison on purpose. You know, now that she became Therion, he put her in that position. After after she had passed out and everything with that arm and attachment and everything. It's so messed up. I mean, it's so messed up, man.
一気に片付ける。そこよ、セイヤ。パレードそこよ、スイジャコ。そこだ。食らい尽くせ。スイジャコ。とどめ血だらけよ。ゼロインパクト。私に任せてください。で、クソ。ガンガ邪推。毛量はぜよ。天にとどろけ。天のこと。毛量はぜよ。世界が集いていやって。 I haven't played Code Vein in a while, so it'd be nice to come and play that. I know the sequel came out very recently, like a couple weeks ago. It was so funny with that. Had to switch out of the way so that she wouldn't get hit as much. I know she was being a spellcaster and all. かなりの精霊を配備してるわね。
馬を守るためだよね。
ええ、おそらくね。
操っている大魔師がいるはずです。警戒してください。
The whole Malachim thing is just crazy how they become dragons. And yeah, the thing with Melchior, yeah, the Malachim he used, he probably instilled with them malevolence to cause them to become wyvern, aka flying dragons. That's why they became the creatures they did.
命がいらないようだな。
これ以上僕を怒らせないで。
怒りっぽいのは良くないぞ。
Every time I keep bringing her in, is the intent to try to learn to master her timely spell casting, spell absorber, which is the game changer that I want to keep in mind whenever I'm dealing with enemies that will do like cast certain spells and stuff. So I want to take advantage of that opportunity.無敵かと思いきやすでにどかないと死ぬぞ。こいつはどうだ、こいつはどうだ。捕らえられない。鎧のこの程度襲撃一投。この距離なら外しません。ゼロの方切り札を出させたことは褒めてやるよ。 Got it done, got it done, I got it done. One of the things I'm also going to do is update my thumbnails because I want to have a more artistic design to it, you know, because of my endeavor to want to continue working on my art. So I want to make sure that I craft my thumbnails in a way where it's my detective persona with the game character in a way that clicks. So I'll try to come up with a good design for that. That leaves down, and let me see what the other one is. Oh, it leaves down as well. Let's get this show on the road. Let's get it on the road. Okay, let's go. I see. Alright, so we'll just go back. Not now, baddie. I gotta go downtown. You're going downtown. Downtown. Okay.
この遺跡は何か悲しい感じがする。
悲しいってどういうことですか？
ここで辛い思いをしたり、亡くなった人の悲しい気持ちが溜まってるような気がするんだ。遺跡を見てそんな風に感じるなんて、なんか変だよね。
いや、その感覚を否定する必要はない。案外そういうものが真実を導く場合がある。ライフセットの観点でこのフォルディス遺跡を見てみると説明がつくものがあるな。
本当？
この遺跡の作りは派手さや豪華さよりも通路や建造物としての堅牢さが優先されているようだ。それはつまり
火山性の地震を考慮しているのと、この通路で誰かが暴れるような状況が考えられたってことかな。
悪くない考察だ。そしてそんな猛者どもがここを素通りするとは考えにくい。
つまりここには通路だけじゃなくて、もっと奥に部屋や施設があるってことだね。凶悪犯の牢屋とか闘技場みたいなものかな。
悲しいと感じた理由はそれで説明できるな。
闘技場だとすると、勝者に与えられる宝みたいな何かが隠されてるかもしれないね。
なぜ隠してあると思うんだ？
だって猛者たちがいい人とは限らないし、ここを設計した人は用心深い感じがするから。
隠し財宝か。お前はその隠し場所をどう？
二人とも考察は後にして。 今はクーマが最優先よ。
あ、ごめん。
宝の隠し場所だ
アイゼン。
な。ライフセット。続きは必ず後でするぞ。
Oh, that's funny.
とっとと済ますぞ。
ま、こんなもんじゃろ。
刀のサビにしてやるぞ。こいつはどうだ。
いつ見ても奇抜な格好じゃのう。
慣れちゃいるが、お前に言われたくは。
とっとと済ますぞ。
勝負ありだな。
Okay, I'm going the right direction.
刀の錆びにしてやるぜ。
上限脚そこだ
襲撃一投。この距離なら外しません。ゼロの方ハグ。
容赦の情け一切かけない。
いいぞ参る。
そこや飛燕連脚追加そこだ
覚悟はいいか。かわせるもんならかわしてみな。ウェイストレスメイヘン。見えないとこまで飛んでいきな。
メディサの様子はどうだ。
おとなしくしている。やはり真実を告げたのが効いたようだ。
よし、これで管理しやすくなるだろう。
なんだお前たちは。
どうやら型がついたようです。
やっぱりここにメディサがいるようね。
事実を告げて管理しやすく。
死神が相手だ。
Right there, huh?
その程度で
こいつはどうだ。鎧のこいつでほら
二人ともかっこいい。
この拳止められはしない。
Yeah, I thought I went right past that. So what's going on with you guys over there in the chat? What's happening? Oh, there you are. All right, now I'm about to hear what's going on. This Medusa figure. Before I go in there, let me see what's over here. Alright, so that's passage leads back up. Oh, I see. Yeah, it leads right back to the one room. We probably end up going up there after, I guess, we try to free Medusa or something. That's what I'm suspect, unless we gotta fight. Let's see what's happening. What's gonna happen. Oh boy. Let's see what's about to happen here.
結界クーマです。
3度目の正直だな。
メディサね。
ええ、そうよ。あなたたちは？
あんたと同じく清涼を、同志アルトリウスを恨む者よ。
安心してください。私たちはあなたを助けに来たんです。
助かりませんよ。
え？諦めないでください。私は。
いいえ、助からないのはあなたたちです。同志アルトリウス様の理想を、清涼の断りを汚す者たちは私が殺します。
Oh, there we go. There's your answer.
襲撃一投、この距離なら外しません。ゼロの方、白。固めかげろ。捉えられまい。おい、決めます。
キリがないよ。
あのヘビ女が召喚してやがる。本体を叩かねば拉致があかんぞ。
その左手、そう、あなたが噂の。
なぜです、メディサ。あなたは清涼に無理やりクーマにされたのではないのですか。
違うわ。私は自らの意志でクーマになったのよ。
Thought so.
でもあなたの娘さんはコーマになって大麻師に。
But it's kind of funny, just real quick, her name being Medusa. Well, if you put the unit, you get Medusa. Get it?
それで清涼を恨んでいるんじゃ。
ええ、恨んでいるわ。人間の汚れがゴーマを生んでしまうこの世界を。
あなた、汚れのことを。
大麻師様が教えてくれたわ。ディアナがゴーマになったのはあの子が汚れを発したせいだって。だったら私は汚れを食らうクーマになる。二度とディアナのような悲劇が起きないように。どんなに憎い姿になろうが構わない。カノニス様を復活させ、この悲惨な世界を変えるのよ。
Yep, there you go. Hey, Medusa.
あ、そう。なら強引にさらうまでよ。
なんで終わらせるのよ。あの子の死に報いるために。この人ゲレイクブースト全部蹴っちゃう。増減脚、ここだ。ナイスクル。とどめ、ゼロインパクト。わしじゃー。甘く止まるのか。ブラッドね。甘く止まるのか。ブラッドね。で捕らえよ。痛みは何だろうとしたことはないね。赤く止まるのか。覚
悟はいいか。かわせるもんならかわしてみな。ウェイストレスメイヘン。捕らえられない。
またくたびれた。
2の方、制覇獲得。
回しい汚れが
捕らえられない。決めます。固めかげろ。捕らえられない。捕らえられない。そこだ。
ブレイクブースト。そこよ。そこよ。 霊視解放。ただなす者に秩序をもたらせ。ファインドオーダー。終焉を与えます。悔い改めよ。参ります。奥義スパイラルヘル。忌まわしい汚れが天にとどろけ。僕が守る。テイレッツゴー。テイレッツゴー。待ちくたびれた。超輪脚。忌まわしい汚れがそこだ。そこで追加をそこだ。はい、追加をクーラー絶頂。そこよ。この目ブレイクブースト。そこだ。はい、そこをどけ。
There you go. Just kept the chain up and kept the chain going.
ここまでよ。
最下の剣士め。
最下の剣士。
最悪の時代をもたらす魔王の名よ。欲望のままに世を乱し、混乱と災をまき散らして顧みない汚れの塊。Security level low。始末に負えぬ人の業を体現した。
Security level low. We got it.
悪のことだ。
I'm going to full personification of human.
クーマ、最下の剣士。好きに呼んでくれるわね。
Lord of Calamity。
私が魔王だって言うなら、あんたは魔王に利用される。それだけよ。
させない。あの子は私のせいで。だから私は死ぬまで戦わなきゃいけないのよ。
That's how you see things.
やめて。邪魔をするな。嫌だ。もうお母さんが死ぬのなんて見たくない。モアナもエレノアもお母さんが死んじゃった。それってすごく悲しいことなんだ。モアナ？
清涼に無理やりクーマにされた少女です。娘を助けようとしたモアナの母親は、お腹を空かせたあの子に自分を差し出して。
モアナはずっと泣いてるんだ。お母さんに会いたいって。だからお母さんが死んだらディアナだってきっと悲しむよ。ディアナ。
お母さんは私がいらないんだね。新しいお父さんの方が好きなんだ。
違う。私はあなたのために。でもあなたは自分が邪魔者だと悩んで汚れ傲慢になってしまった。私のせいでごめんね。ごめんなさい。メディサ。
大丈夫。気絶しただけだ。
Another very sad scenario.
このまま連れて帰るわよ。
We could have just ended her life right there.
どうやら清涼はメディサの後悔を利用したようじゃな。クーマとして自分たちに従うように。
そんな残酷すぎます。
Yeah, very manipulative.
じゃが理にはかなっておる。
They claim reason, but I'd say it's the wrong application of so-called reason to me. I'll talk more about definitions of reason that I can explore in my case review when I get the chance. Might be good something to talk about. Why I think their meaning of reason, I think, is very misplaced.
汚れる人間個人が悪いのよ。あんたが責任を感じることじゃないわ。
だとしても私は目をそらしたくありません。自分が選んだ道の先にある現実から。それが断りに反する私のせめてもの義務です。
本当に面倒ね。あんたもこの女も。ごちゃごちゃ考えないで。悪事は全部最下の剣士のせいにでもしとけばいいのよ。
ベルベット。
Like make her the center of blame is.
別に気を使ったわけじゃない。私は気にしないってことよ。道の先に何があろうとね。
Yeesh. I'm gonna go ahead and do a BRB, bathroom break and all. Oh man, I have this fan. I had this fan on in the room as I was coming back in. I had the air conditioner on. I think it's still on. Might have automatically shut off for a moment. I hope nobody turned it off because I turned it on. It was hot. My room was steaming, bro. A steaming room. So how say what's going on, man? Got a little quiet up in there in the chat. What's happening, bro? What's you doing? What's going on? I have yet to check out the trailer. I mean, I've seen a little bits, but the full program trailer stuff for Genshin. You gotta enter the code stuff. I gotta take care of those things for Genshin. I'll play a little bit of Genshin after this. We got a lot of stuff to prepare for tomorrow and everything. But yeah, bro. Linnea, the one who is she's like an advisor or something for the Adventurers Guild, apparently. And stuff. And I haven't. You know what I haven't made in a while was trailer reactions. I used to do a lot of trailer reactions for Genshin, and then I did a little bit for HSR. I plan to go back for trailer reactions, but the way I'm thinking of doing, if I want to go back to it, is reaction first with just a few less minutes, just a few little remarks of analysis. Nothing too long, just quick reaction, and then a few little much of analysis. So that way, I could at least get still my little detective analytical thoughts going even while I'm watching the trailer. The main thing I would be focusing on, if it's like, because there's a difference between like, there's the story trailer and then there's the character trailer. If I'm watching the story trailer, it's going to be like, okay, so what does this say about the current story theme here that's now being presented to us? And just be like, just looking at the tease and what it might be kind of pointing to based on already existing lore that we've already found out in the game previously. Just to have a little short recap and then just say, hey, tell me what you think and what are your thoughts and theories regarding this little story here and what could happen in the comments. Share them if you like. Kind of get things moving. And if it's a character trailer, now this is going to be fun. Character profiling. I will be character profiling, which means I'll be observing the teaser, the trailer, how it presents the character, and just look at it as a question of, well, how does this character seems to play in a role of what is to come in the game? Like what are they, who are they, and what are they there for? Like what kind of character are we dealing with here? Is this the stoic adventurer type who's a leader? Like just a short little character profile mention. I'll keep it short and sweet, and then still have the whole, share your thoughts about this character's role, this character's purpose, this character's profile, this personality. Like, what do y'all think about it in terms of kit, personality, everything? Would you pull this character or not? Share in the comments. Like, I'll be doing a lot. I might be getting back to do a bit of that. I might not catch every trailer, I try to do it. I kept trying to do that with Genshin. And there were lots of things I kind of caught wind of with the Genshin community, with Genshin, to the point where I was like, I don't know, I want to continue doing it. But I decided I might do a little bit of some trailer reactions here or there. There are even other games I'll try to do that too. But it'll be just like me just kind of react with a little bit of analysis spice at the end. Just for a few minutes. I don't want to keep it too long, so I try to minimize the reaction will be quick, but I'll minimize the analysis as best as possible. Just mention a few things, maybe a few little lore bits as a good recap for existing players. You know what I mean? So that's what I'm thinking of doing. Some things to help kind of get more stuff on my channel, because I've been streaming. I'll post moments, but I want to do more stuff. So I'm going to be keeping an eye on that. Not much, just playing my smuggler. May just switch to play some Fractured Daydream. Yeah, the Fractured Daydream game, bro. Or the Fractured Daydream stuff. So we got Medusa, Medusa with us now. That's 4, 5 or I think like 5 or 6 Therions now, roughly around there. Removed from their Earth pulse points. Doesn't mean they haven't fed Innominat while they were there. They have. Like even when the moment when the little girl consumed, in her form consumed the mother, was already a feeding point for Innominat right there too. So yeah, the Therions are the conduits. When they're in their Earth pulse points, that's the channel point for Innominat to feed on the malevolence. So those characters become like conduits. Oh, there's something there. Yeah, I see that area is a bit on the... Yeah, it's right there. Yeah, so you have one right there and you have one right there. So it's in Ruins B1, but I'm not sure how to get there. That one leads to Ruins B2, which is where I'm at. It's that one spot that was blocked, wasn't it? Yeah, I don't think it's... Yeah, it's blocked by rocks. Let me see if it's open now. Yeah, it's blocked by the rocks.
僕役に立っ
It's been a while since I even used him.
馬をかけさせないで草原脚わしじゃセーラーブコアカラミティフレ風の刃をセーラーブコアハイド圧倒的じゃなブラッタネはいやセーラーブコアバフはいや
もう大丈夫。
とっとと済ませ
支援連脚追加とここだ
いろんなものが出てくるね。
インテレスティングのワンダーランドじゃ。
Yeah, so that area is completely blocked right now, so that's probably where that other doll, the red doll, is.
馬をかけさせないでわしじゃ赤く染まるのセーラーブコーバーセーラーブコーバーグラビティセー圧倒的じゃな
全力で答えたが
There's been like some Japanese VAs that have passed away, some throughout this year. I don't remember the name of some that been reported to have pass on. Oh, okay, yeah. I don't think I even went over here. That's right. Well, let me check. That was all on that right side. Right? Yeah, there we go. Yeah, because I was like, I went on the right side. I'm like, did I go on the left side? No, I didn't. Okay.
ノル様人形。グリモワールやビエン風に似ていますが、何かが違いますね。
うん。ビエンフーたちは若干ダークな雰囲気だが、ノル様は落ち着いた華やかさがあるよな。
それをはんなりと言うんじゃよ。
それがはんなり。
はんなりというよりはまったりというか、ぼんやりした何考えてるかわからない顔でふよ。僕の方が1000倍可愛いでふよね。
どこが？顔隠してるあんたは怪しいだけでしょ。
私の心の声が心を許してはいけないと警告しています。
そうかな。なんか赤ちゃんみたいで素直に可愛いと僕は思うけど。
これが赤ちゃん？
妹もこの人形と同じくらい小さかった。おもちゃみたいな小さな手で一生懸命あいつは俺の小指を握っていた。
Really now, huh?
握られたままの小指をそっと動かして頬をつついてやったら笑ったんだ。その笑顔、何があっても守ろうと誓った。だがあいつが俺に飯を作ってくれるほど成長した頃、妙なことばかり起こるようになった。ゴーマに襲われたり、ドラゴンに囚われそうになったり、妹ばかり危ない目にあった。そして初めて俺は気づいたんだ。妹を傷つけた原因が俺の加護、死神の力だということに。
それであなたは妹を置いて旅に出たのですね。呪いを解く方法を見つけるために。
ああ、そしてアイフリードと出会った。
Wait a minute.
ノル様人形の噂もアイフリードから聞いた。そんなものに意味はないと。
Was there anything that meant
集めてみなきゃわからないよ。
I noticed he called it a blessing, and I'm trying to remember, did he mention anything about?
アイゼンが自分のことを話してくれて嬉しかっ
Trying
た。
to put my finger on it, maybe.
それはこ
Because
の
I
人
remember
形
a
の
lot
お
of
か
the
げだから。
dialogue we went through.
だから残り3つも絶対に見つけようよ。
そうだな。
Because you think, why would you call this Reaper Curse a blessing? And I'm thinking, perhaps this blessing is a rephrase to something to which maybe it's bestowed upon to certain. Maybe is it something? Is it a Malaccan thing or or something else? You wouldn't think to call that a blessing. Well, that just gave me a little piece of lore there.
Eleanor、僕メディサを苦しめちゃったのかな。
そうかもしれません。でも 私もあなたと同じことを思いました。お母さんがだから止め。
エレノアのやつ無理をしすぎて汚れる危険が高くなってるんじゃない？
汚れとは人間の心にあるエゴや矛盾から目をそらす独善から生まれるものだ。だがエレノアは自分のエゴを自覚し矛盾と向き合おうとしている。
それこそが大麻師に何より必要な資質。汚れを生む感情に染まらない純粋さというものじゃ。
つまり大丈夫ってこと？
今はな。だが人の心は一瞬で打つ。この先どうなるかは誰にもわからん。
ま、さほど心配せずともよかろうって。大抵の大麻師の純粋さは理で作り上げたものじゃが、あの娘のは天然のようじゃからの。
大麻師の才能ってわけね。
貴重な才能だが特殊な資質である。エゴや矛盾を持たない者などいないし、己が醜さと正直に向き合うことも簡単にはできん。程度の差はあれ、汚れを持って生きてるのが普通の人間というものだ。
汚れは必然に存在するものか。でもアルトリウスは
Detective Elias case file note. I wouldn't say the number of the note just yet, but maybe number 2, number 3, but I would say, you know, this reminds me of some timeless stories or things in history or things you kind of learn or understand is this. When it comes to the human heart, well, while feelings can have a factor and have an influence to one's emotional state, even the things you think about could hardly affect your state of mind on various things, and you could be planning for good or planning for evil. Very fascinating what the human heart, but also the human mind has a capacity to do. Crazy things like that. You know, people who would plan for things like premeditated murder, all that kind of crazy stuff. A lot of things. Kind of interesting they bring that up, you know, considering what this game is focused on malevolence and all that.
異常は出ていないようですね。
今のうちに街を抜けてタイタニアに戻るわよ。
ここがあなたたちのアジトか。私を逃がしたら致命傷になるわね。寝首をかかれないようにせいぜい気をつけなさい。
言うわね。
おかえり。
Because look how worried I am. No, I'm not worried.
あの子がモアナだよ。
There she is.
ディアナと同じくらい。清涼はこんな小さな子を無理やりクーマに。
What? Ouch. Okay there, come on now. Aww.
エレノア、お願いです、メディサ。あの子と話してあげてくれませんか？
どういうつもり？
モアナはクーマです。だけど お母さんを恋しがる普通の女の子なんです。私じゃあの子の悲しみを埋められない。
Nice.
あなたなら
You getting that gear and stuff all ready for your smuggler, huh?
大丈夫？私はメディサっていうのよ。怖いわよね。
ちょっとでもベルベットやダイルより怖くないよ。それよりおばちゃんはモアナが怖くないの？
It's all velvet in that pose over there. Aww.
夢を
Awesome
見た
scene.
の。モアナのお母さんがモアナを怖いっていらないっていう夢。
怖いものですか。お母さんが子供をいらないなんて思うわけないわ。
なんでわかるの？
私もお母さんだからよ。お母さんは自分が死んでも世界がどうなっても子供を愛してるのよ。あなたを誰より一番。
泣かないでおばちゃん。
I got some. I'm not crying. I swear, I'm not crying.
寂しくなくなるといいけど。
Maybe a little, but not that much.
泣き止ませるの大変だし。
Wow.
聞いてもいい？ベルベットのお母さんって
亡くなったわ。私があんたより小さい頃に。
あ、ごめん。
別にいいわ。つまり私もあんたと似たようなものだから、一人で寂しがっちゃダメよ。
僕は平気だよ。寂しくなんかないんだから。
なんで怒るわけ？変な子ね。
変じゃないよ。もう
エレノはモアナとメディサの監視は任せるわよ。
はい、ありがとうございます。
いいの？大魔師が災禍のなんとかにお礼なんか言って。
いいじゃないですか。魔王が細かいことを気にしないでください。
ベルベット、グリモワールが呼んでたぜ。ライフセットを連れて監視塔に来てくれって。
分かったわ。
すぐに行こう。
What a moving scene. Yeah, one lost daughter, the other lost her mother. That's a nice little family look out there, man. There goes the bird. Alright, any king. It's my own late mother. Aww. At least, Dial, you still got your conscience, and you still got your consciousness. Now, he turned Damon, but he still is Dial. He still has his mind. He's still able to tell. He's still able to do stuff. But let you know, like, some end up feral, and then some actually, like him or others, even still conscious. Therions are still conscious too. So it's kind of an interesting case. So it's the outer path. Okay. Oh, so it's not out here. Okay. North Watch. Yeah, it's out. It's at the tower. What am I doing? Okay.
ねえ、六郎たちはお母さんいる？
ああ、急にどうした？
うん。モアナやエレノアもだけど、ベルベットにも両親がいないって分かったから気になって。
俺の母親もめちゃくちゃ厳しくて怖い人だったが、やっぱりずいぶん前に死んじまったよ。
そう。
わしに親はおらん。わしを拾った悪い魔法使いによれば、川を流れていた桃の中から生まれたそうじゃよ。
お前なら本当にそうかもな。
アイゼンは？
俺たち精霊は正常な霊力が集まって生まれる存在だ。稀に人間から精霊に転生する者もいるが、生前の記憶を維持することは
Really?
つまり人間と同じような血縁関係はないということだ。
Well, this is interesting development.
僕も気づいた時には2号って呼ばれて刺激されてた。
That is very
その前
intriguing
のことが思い
information.
出せないのはお母さん自体がいないからなんだね。僕はメディサにお母さんが死ぬのはすごく悲しいことなんて言ったけど、本当の辛さはわからないのかもしれない。
子供にも容赦ないの。
単なる事実だ。だがな、ライフセット、血縁関係がないからといって特別な絆を感じられないわけじゃない。精霊であってもかけがえのない存在を、家族や友とのつながりを持っているんだ。
だよな。お前の言葉が本気じゃなかったらメディサは止まらなかったはずだ。
そうなのかな。
きっとそうさ。
桃から生まれた魔女よりはずっとな。
こりゃ桃生まれをなめるでないぞ。わしにじゃって犬、猿、キジと鼻炎風との特別すぎる
I'm
水
getting
が
a pheasant. Beyond food. What?
そうだといいな。
Well, don't want to have a circus crew or group, huh?
精霊にも家族のつながりがあると言っていましたが、血縁関係なしでどうやって妹だと分かったんですか？
もうずいぶん前のことになるが、俺はとある霊山の地脈点に生まれた。
Okay.
長い間過ごしていたある日、同じ地脈点からあい
In
つ
the
が
very
生まれて
same
きた。
Earth Pulse point in the
気づくと
mountain.
俺たちは同じ屋根の下で暮らすようになっていた。
Intriguing.
同じ地脈点から生まれた精霊が兄弟ってことなのか？
いや、他にもそこで生まれた精霊はいたが、そいつらを家族だと感じたことはなかった。だがあいつは何かが違った。あいつが悲しいと俺も悲しかった。俺が嬉しいとあいつも嬉しかった。愛想のないやつだが、その分笑顔の破壊力はすごくてな。 何があってもってやろうと俺は誓った。俺は霊山で採れた石を使ってペンダントを作り、
A pendant you
お
made.
守りとしてあいつに持たせた。
I wonder what mountain this was.
首飾りにして使っていたがな。
その
Wonder if we
ペンダン
might be able to go
あ
there.
いつも同じことを考えてたんだ。自分で作ったお守りだとこれを俺にくれた。お互い黙っていたのに、俺たちは同じ日に同じ形のお守りを送り合った。俺たちの間には確かに兄弟のつながりがあると、その時確信したんだ。
そこに描かれてる女の子が妹さんなんだね。
ああ、俺が家を出る日、あいつが描いてくれた自画像だ。
あんたも妹に絵を描いてあげたの？
いや、俺には絵心はない。
きっと妹さんは自分のペンダントに一番大切な人の顔を描いていますよ。
だといいがな。
一番大切な人がお主じゃといいがの。
Oh, wow, that's cute.
.来たわね。
グリモ先生、解読が進んだの？
ええ、数え歌にはね、2番があったのよ。読み下しておいたから、坊や、読んであげて。
Alright, there's more. Here we go.
8つの汚れあふるる時に、嘆きの果てにカノ主は無限の民の行き止まり、いつぞの姿に帰らしめん。4つの聖種の怒れる剣が三好の業を切り裂いて2つに分かれ眠れる大地。火色の月夜は魔を照らす。意味名の聖種、心は一つ。意味名の聖種、体は一つ。
なんじゃか
That
不吉な
four
文句
there.
ばかりじゃの。
Four and 10.
2番の歌詞
Interesting.
はカノ主の性質を表してる。
おそらくそう
So
よ。
I'm going to keep those
8つ
details
の
in
汚
mind.
れあふるる時に嘆きの果てにカノ主
Yeah,
は
eight
無
malevolences
限の民
overflow.
の行き止まり。
So
世界に汚れが満ちた時、カノ主がその力で民の行き止まりを
it
もた
says
らす
eight
と
malevolences.
読めるな。
人間を滅ぼすというのですか？
おいおい、清涼はそんな目的でカノ主を復活させようとしてたのか？
違う、アルトリウスはそんな男じゃない。あいつの理想は子より善、断りと意志による秩序の回復よ。だから世界を守るためにラフィーを犠牲にした。
お主の知っとるアルトリウスはじゃろ。じゃが人は変わるぞ。同志とで絶望したのやもしれん。業に流されて汚れを出し続ける愚かな人間どもに。
not really sure about that.
もしそうなら
There's a reason he sacrificed Laffy, and I remember the
古文書の
theories I
続きには
mentioned.
何か書かれてい
So
な
I
いの
don't
ですか？
think that's the case.
それが、この古文書は漢本じゃなかったの。まだ続きがあるはずだけど、欠けてしまっているのよ。
I think the purpose of Laffy being
今できる
sacrificed
解読はここまで。
could mean Laffy could be the
だが
key,
原
maybe
本は
in
どこかにあ
spirit
るんだよな。
and
あってこ
consciousness
そのカノ主
scattered
復活計画
abroad
だ。
somewhere within.
清涼はカノ
That's
主の
why my
性質を
theories
完全に
suspect
把
that
握して
they
いる。
did physically die,
王都の利休に
but
あったのがこれだ
spiritually
し。
maybe they might be
原本の手
within
がかりはない
somewhere
よ。
within this
今日はもう
Thor's
遅いです。
surge of power with this
ここまでに
Nominat
して休みましょう。
Empyrean being.
そうね。
Like they're somewhere. Pieces of them are somewhere. That's just my guess, but I do find this boy, however, rather fascinating, though. Maybe I don't think him being called Laphicet to begin with maybe wasn't an accident. That's why my suspicions are very deep on this one. It looks like we need more of the writings, more things to know what really is going on. So, but this is all my theoreticals at this point. Head to the next Earth Pulse point. Okay. So both Eisen and his sister were born on a sacred mountain, and that's where even an Earth Pulse point in a mountain. That's not how you see the characters not interacting with each other at that point.
ライフセットモアナ、昨日はメディサと寝たんだよ。ヘビだけどあったかかった。
よかったね。
今からメディサとお風呂に入るの。ライフセットも一緒に入ろう。
え、困るよ。
いいよ、モアナは困らないから。
モアナ、知っていますか？ダイルの尻尾が新しく生えかかっているんですよ。
ほんと？見たい。
ダイルは監視塔に行ったようです。
行ってみる。メディサも行こう。
ええ、でも走ると転ぶわよ。
ありがとう。エレノア。
女の子の扱いが下手ですね。私の精霊は。
モアナ、元気になってよかった。メリサも。
はい。問題が解決したわけじゃないけど、笑ってくれるのは救いです。重要なのはこっちの問題よ。早く次の地脈点を感知して。
うん。
もう少し言い方があるでしょ。時間がない。相手は清涼。遅かれ早かれここも見つかるわ。それはそうですが。
別の隠れ家を探すか？うん。
守るより攻める。見つかる前に残りのクーマを捕らえ。
剣術でいう千の千だ
な。守りきるのは難しいも
のな。守る義理なんてないからよ。
地脈点があった。イーストガンド領の東の方みたい。
そこって了解。イーストガンド領の東ね。
ならまずはタリエシンの港に向かおう。
グリモワールって一見やる気がないようだが、文句言いながらも仕事は早くて確実だし、本音を言いつつ人を傷つけない気配りもできて、大人の女性としての魅力があるよな。
悪かったわね。気配りができない魅力のない女で。
いやいや、お前たちはまだ若いんだし、人生経験の違いがあるのは当然だろう。
とはいえ、わしらに大人の色気が足りんというのは認めなくもなくないの。
確かに以前アルトリウス様に落ち着きがないと注意されたこともあったし。
もっともグリモワールは若い頃からあんな感じでしっかりしてたんじゃないかって気がするけどな。
いい読みじゃ。グリモ姉さんは生まれながらにしてグリモ姉さんじゃった。辛辣じゃが真実を言った姉さんの言葉とうつろな眼差しに多くの精霊たちが心を奪われ、最盛期にはファンクラブの会員数は8848名を数え、ディナーショーのチケットは即日完売。古文書朗読ライブでは居眠り精霊が続出したのじゃ。
す
ごい。びっくりノルミン新記録公式本にはグリモ姉さんのびっくり記録が満載じゃぞ。
そう言われると、あの気だるい感じは落ち着きに、微妙なまったり感は大人の余裕に思えてくる。それに比べて私と来たら、
もしかしてそれグリモ先生の真似？
はあ、全然そんなつもりなかったですけど。
なかなか感じが出ているではないか。
お主の中に眠る大人の魅力を感じるぞ。
そんな私に大人の魅力だなんて。
最後の締めもやってみるのじゃ。今が大人の女になれるかどうかの瀬戸際じゃぞ。
はい、締めというのはあれですよね。やってみます。そう。どうライフセット、感じ出てるかしら。
間違っちゃった感じがよく出てるね。
エレノア様のそういうところ少女っぽくて可愛いですね。
嘆きの果てにカノ主は無限の民の行き止まり。
カノ主の数え歌、気になっているのですね。
何度読んでも悪い意味にしか思えないんだ。
古代アバラスト語の解読は難しいんですよね。別の解釈はないのでしょうか。例えば無限の民の行き止まりの部分は人間の永遠のために災いを止める
On end of all human suffering and probably the end of the emotional aspect that makes them human, those internal things. Probably cut that out to make them the puppets that we've been kind of thinking about. That could be resolved. If that's probably what that's
そん
referring
な手
to.
がかりもないものを探してる時間はないわ。
そもそも古文書は写本デフ。写すときに書き間違えた可能性もあるんじゃないですか。
おう、お前にしては的を射たことを言うじゃないか。
経験者を語るデフよ。僕も姉さんに魔術師の写本を命じられたとき適当に書きましたデフから。
そんなことをして問題はなかったのですか。
姉さんがその適当魔術師の術を使おうとして爆発しましたけど自業自得デフ。3日で100冊写本しろとかありえないデフからね。
それはひどいの。
ほんとデフ。精霊使いが荒すぎる悪魔のような魔
And
女デ
she's
フよ。
right there.
ビエンフちょいと人気のないところ
Now
へ
you're
行こ
about
う
to
ぜ。
get beaten up half to death.
なーに心配はいらぬ。写本の謝罪を適当にするだけじゃよ。どうでもいい話じゃがの。クーマ探しの時のお主らの釣り勝負どっちが勝ったんじゃ。
ずいぶん前のことを聞くな。あれは俺の負けだ。坊主だったからな。
いや、引き分けだ。俺も坊主だ。
いいよ、この負けは譲れん。
その負けをくれてやるわけにはいかん。坊主に加えてゴーマという危機を釣り上げた俺は減点されて叱るべき。俺の負けだ。
遊びなんだからどっちでもいいでしょ。
よくない。どんな勝負であれ白黒はっきりさせる。それが俺の流儀だ。
俺もアイゼンに同感だな。勝負の決着を曖昧にすることはできん。
面倒ね。アイゼンは死神の呪いのせいでろくなものが釣れないんでしょ。勝負が成立してないじゃない。
おお、言われてみればそうだな。ここは他の勝負で決着をつけようぜ。
他の勝負、トランプとかチェスとか。
トランプはやらん。必ずジョーカーが来るからな。
将棋はできるがチェスはわからん。
腕これこれ。ゴーマと精霊が手をつないだら汚れで大変なことになるじゃろうて。
大人同士なんだから。
クーマも精霊もなく対等に戦えるよな。
ああ、俺も依存を用意させよう。
一応大人の解決。
型がつくなら。
飲み比べとなればやっぱり浸水に合ううまい魚が必要ですね。
確かに。よし、つまみを釣りに行こうぜ。
小舟を出そう。釣り勝負の続きだ。
魚は釣れないんじゃ。
というか、せっかくまとまりかけたのにどうして混ぜ返すんですか、ビエン風。
どうして僕が叱られることに。
魚を取りに行った時の話なんだけどさ、 気づかずに第4種管理地区の島にやばいと思って島と反対に舵を切ったらいきなり周りが真っ暗になったんだよ。
急に嵐でも来たの？
嵐なんか目じゃねえほどの化け物だよ。空を覆っちまうようなバカでけえ羽を広げて。
ちょっと大げさじゃない？
嘘だと思うなら言ってみろっての。帰れなくなっても知らねえけどな。
巨大な鳥。
この島面白いな。捕まるのは勘弁だがアジトにするには最高だよ。このダイル様がアジト版になったからには最高のアジトにしてみせるぜ。
アジト版？
船や島内設備のメンテナンス、王子やメディサの監視、モアナの相手したり常駐して島を守る番人だ。ビシッと仕切ってやるから、お前たちも安心してクマ探しをしてきな。
それただの雑用係でしょ。あんた航海士なのにそれでいいわけ？
バカ野郎、雑用だって立派な仕事だろうが。航海士は他にもいるが、これだけの仕事を一人でこなせるやつが他にいるかよ。それによ、尻尾が切れちまってからバランスが取れなくて船酔いがひでえんだよ。
そんなこと言って私たちと一緒に船に乗ると大変な目に遭うからでしょ？
いや、そんなことはちょっとしか。
ねえねえ、ダイルって脱皮するのかな？
見た目はユミルオオトカゲに似てるけど元は人間だしゴーマだからしないんじゃないかな。
ヘッシュン、なんだ俺の噂したか？
したよ。ねえ、ダイルは脱皮するの？その辺の事情、モアナ知りたいんだけど。
なんだよ、失礼な疑問だな。
だってするでしょ、トカゲなんだから。
しねえよ。
脱皮しないダイルなんて魅力半減だよ。
でも尻尾は再生してたよね。
そうだよ、尻尾が生えるのはトカゲだよ。本当は脱皮するんでしょ。
尻尾は生えても脱皮はしねえんだよ。でも昨日は日に焼けすぎちまったから
腕の皮がちょっとむけてるけどな。
They're just looking at him like, no. No, that doesn't count.
相当の使い手でしたね。
Huh.
酸っぱい。
What's this?
味がわかるのですか？
味がするのよ。
Yeah,
夢の
dreamed.
中だけは。これ
And
が
there
夢
goes
か
her,
わかるわよ。
long since passed away, passed on sis. Unfortunately.
私が食らったんだから。
そうですよ。忘れないでくださいね。
忘れられるわけないでしょ。後の味を。忘れられるわけ。
霧が出てきましたね。じゃあ
そういえばエレノは一つはっきりさせておきたいんだけど。
何ですか？改まって。
ライフィセットはないから。
え？言いたいことってそれですか？あなたのでもないでしょう。
そうよ。 あの子はあの子、誰のものでもないわ。
そうですね。精霊は大麻師の道具じゃない。以後気をつけます。
わかればいいけ
危ない危ないの。ベルベットやわしとの賭けを覚えておるか。
ああ、私が折れたら100ガルドってやつ。それが
忠告しておくぞ。人は苦痛には耐えられるが幸福には逆らえん。賭けに勝ちたかったら似合わぬ夢など見んこと。
あいにく見るのは悪夢ば。
霧もすっかり晴れましたね。迷わなくてよかった。
当然だ。俺たちを何だと思ってる。
違法で無法で腕のいい海賊だと
分かっていればいい。
しかし普段は霧が出る海域じゃないんだけどな。
死神が相手だ。リッチスクレイパー火だらけだ。燃えろ。覚悟はいいか。かわせるもんならかわしてみな。ウェイストレスメイヘン。リッチ覚悟もなしに立ちふさがる。死神が相手だ。クラスターよし逃がしたよ。火だらけだ。燃えろ。氷が凍る。リッチスクレイパー覚悟はいいか。明日は嫌ねえ。今お前を殺すための次の一手だ。ドラグーンハンディ。覚悟もなしに立ちふさがる。
Dude, that was tight. Whoa.
ま、こんなもんじゃろ。
Like a little circus dance, dude. Dude, that's tight. Yeah, I wanted to try to unlock their second ultimate attacks. So I was like, let me practice with them right now. The Aizen was tight. Gotta be quicker. Use her R2 button. Kind of build that meter up. prep. Gotta do it again.
尋常に勝負貫け緑壁冷静空間せーの天に届けいますすごい天に届けとレッツゴー天に届け参ります奥義スパイラルヘイ決着ですね
Like a little trick to it. I mean, when I'm facing a real enemy, it's gonna be easier. I'm just facing a dummy, but still. Whoops. Held it on too early.
決着ですね尋常に勝負とレッツゴー天に届けとレッツゴーサンガ逆水天に届けレッツゴーと天に届けとレッツゴー決着ですね尋常に勝負とレッツゴーサンガ逆水天に届け
What's wrong?
尋常に勝負と天に届けいますすごいと天に届けとレッツゴー決着ですね尋常に勝負天に届けすごいと天に届けと天に届け決着ですね
I might have to change her arts around a bit, maybe see if that does something. But if I'm facing a regular enemy, should be able to accomplish it. Just I'm facing the dummy, so. But I can change the stuff around. Nope.
勝負ありだな。いざ参る。昇進鎧の内二の型来い。風神鎧の内来い。昇進世の型。風神誰も一の型襲撃一刀この距離なら外しません。ゼロの型白。
Interesting.
勝負ありだな。いざ参る。スピンさせ世の型来い。昇進左も来い。スピンさせ世の型捉えられまい。来い一の型スピンさせ生き抜いた襲撃一刀。
There we go.
送電の火に活目せよ。乱月流白鷺。勝負ありだな。
Hello, and coming in off insane up in here. Let's go. Whoa!
もう大丈夫
This kid just combined light and darkness and made a huge black and white monochrome space of disaster right there. At this point, this kid is like nearly OP. If he pulled, you know, you pull that off. Imagine I pull that off on the final boss. Oh my gosh. On a big boss, I use that as a finisher. This is just so epic. I just gotta say, this is just so epic, bro. And I'm just mixing up whatever attacks, man. That's all I'm doing, mixing all these attacks around. Whoops. I accidentally held the L2 button for a minute there. So you got a lot of spinning way attacks. I might have to remove those. She got that kind of attack. I might have to remove that. I need to remove it. Well, here, let me try again. There we go. Whoa! He just did a giant beam. Oh my goodness. This is man. We had a big giant like back on monochrome domain of destruction, and we got like a big giant beam blast. We got a dance off shit. We got a slasher that like, dude, a big shadow dragon like explosion. And I know I already done Velvets earlier, but dang.
みたい。
ここは貿易で悪毒設けた一族の拠点でね。攻められた時に備えてこうなってるんだって。
敵が多かったんだ。
けど栄えたのは昔の話。今はただの田舎町よ。それでも私たちには憧れの都会だったけど。
詳しいのですね。
一応地元だから。この先のアバルって村が私の故郷。
じゃあ
I
クーマがいるの。
see.
多分私の村よ。
Somewhere in her village. Oh boy.
いいのですか。
どうせ知り合い
Oh
はいない
boy.
な。みんな私が食い殺したから。
Hmm. Yeah. Crazy. All right. Search and search of the Earth Pulse point. Yeah, this will be something. Yeah, I think it's time for me to stop. Alright, folks. I'm gonna get going. It's been a pleasure, but I gotta end this stream. But here's how I'm gonna end it. I have a certain special closing line. Let me see, where is it? Yeah, just a minute. Let me find that closing line real quick. A special line that I actually wanted to say at the end of my streams because I can and I would like to say it. It's just me. Let me see. Oh, here it is. My special little end game statement is goes something like this. Let me turn off the fan a bit. Let me just say it by simply switching screens. The shadows are lengthening, and the case is far from closed. We've seen the truth today, but the why still hides in the dark. To my story witnesses, if you found a piece of this puzzle I missed, you can always leave your statement in the, well, some people may leave it in the comments of a live stream. You're free to do so. Or in the next chat, the next live stream. You can leave it in the chat message and bring it up. Your testimony is the only light we've got in this mist. If you're ready to stay on the trail, hit that subscribe button and join the investigation. The file is going into the cabinet for now, but the story is eternal. This is XP Story Gamers. Keep your eyes open, and I'll see you in the next case. Sayonara.